Hey there everyone, and welcome back to the vlog. We have another great week of reading in store, so let's talk about what's on the TBR. So first, if you all have been keeping up with my weekly reading vlogs, I have been obsessed with the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and we are officially picking up the last book, As Good as Dead. Something that I've been saying about this series that I feel more strongly about with each book is the emotions that we get from Pip and how we can feel them and understand them so well, even though this is a third-person POV story, and I am loving it already. I'm about 50 pages in, so really not too far, but already understand everything she's going through, and I'm just obsessed with it. So I am really in a chokehold by this series right now, and I'm going to be so sad when I finish it. There will just be a little hip-shaped hole in my heart because this has really just been fantastic for me. I have had such a good time with it, and yeah, just don't want to leave these characters yet. And as my current audiobook, I have picked up An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. I really enjoy this author's writing. She wrote A Dowry of Blood last year, and I gave it 5 stars. It's very dark, quite triggering, but done so eloquently, and just it's so good. So it really made a lasting impact on me, and I feel like this book is going to do the exact same thing. So if I finish up As Good as Dead quickly, I will probably pick this one up to read it physically, just because I don't want to wait until I am doing chores or running groceries or something to listen to it. I just want to pick it up and get that story going. And then lastly, because I anticipate that both of those books are going to be pretty hard-hitting and just a little bit dark, I'm going to need a palate cleanser, and that is going to be Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. And I am just excited as always. Nick and Charlie are just the most endearing characters, and watching them grow up together is the sweetest. So I am really looking forward to getting more of their story and seeing how it evolves. So that is that. And that is the lineup for this week. Yes, I did need that little bit of sunshine in between the two dark spots, so I feel very good about my decision there. Also, I believe it's supposed to rain like every single day this week, so we are about to have all of the cozy vibes. My third project for grad school is due tomorrow night, so hopefully after that I will just feel a weight lifted off my shoulders and try to just enjoy that feeling for a minute and get a ton of reading in. So that is what we are going to do. Let's get to a point where we can sit down and start reading, all right? Hey there everyone, it is now Monday evening and we have done some grad school work, but more importantly, we just walked and read more of As Good as Dead. So in case you are unaware of what this series is about, we are following our main female character, Pip Fitzamobi, and she is a high school senior, and for her senior capstone project, she had done some research into an open and shut case about a horrible murder that had happened in her small town, and just nobody thought twice about it. Again, open and shut, but she thought that there might be a little bit more to that and uncovered a lot in the process of doing so. So that was the main focus of the first book, which is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and then basically everything from the series on is what happens as a result of her digging into this case. So in this book, we are seeing a lot of the repercussions of what has happened to her since, and just how all of that has escalated and how that has changed a lot of who she is because of the things that she's seen and the constructs of the world that just have not made sense to, well, that did make sense to her, but no longer do. So she has really evolved as a main female character, and it is pretty heartbreaking because I just can't even imagine the amount of trauma that she has encountered as a result of all of this, and now she is just in a place where she is feeling very alone, and that is extremely tragic. So we are now 82 pages in and have set the scene for what this book is going to be about, and it is just getting closer and closer to home because, as you can imagine, in the first book when she was going looking, a lot of people didn't want her to, and we have started to see that slowly escalate into just these threats that have occurred, but now it seems even more personal. So it is getting pretty darn intense. I am kind of nervous about this book because of how much, like I said, Pip's character has evolved and what ultimately her fate will be at the end of this. I'm still really enjoying my time with it, but it is pretty darn hard hitting. So that is that, and now I think I'm gonna just hang out for a little bit. I need to go take a shower. We have an office day tomorrow, so it is hair wash night, and we'll go from there. But I will update you all in a bit when I have more. Hello everyone and good evening. I have to submit this project too. Actually, it's project 3 now, so I have to submit that tonight, so I wanted to give a quick reading update before I probably focus on that for the remainder of the night, unfortunately. But I wanted to tell you all that I did not read any more As Good as Dead last night, but I had a realization, and I realized why I don't read series consistently, because I get too caught up in it. Like, all of the feelings of the main characters I then start experiencing in my own life, and I just get too attached. So right now in As Good as Dead, there's just like a existential feeling of dread surrounding Pip, and then I feel that way, and like I want to cry, but like I don't actually want to cry or need to cry. I just want to cry for Pip because I'm too far into her character right now. And this is a lesson learned for me. So I probably will not be reading series consistently in the future, just to avoid it overtaking my own emotions. That might be weird, but like maybe somebody else resonates with that because it's a very unique feeling and I don't like it. Like, I like to be very in charge of my own emotions, and right now I am not, unfortunately. So as a little bit of a just a little bit of a brain break, switch gears a bit, I had a ton of manual tasks to do at work today. So I ended up listening to a lot of my audiobook, which is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson, and I made it up to page like 140-ish, and that's almost like half the book. So I know I haven't been talking about, well, to be fair, I was on page 34 before today, so not much was going on. But what we are seeing in this book is we have 2 points of view. We have Laura, who is from Mississippi, and she wanted to go to this school up north to focus on her writing, and so she's a freshman. And then we have Carmilla, who is a senior and is this one teacher's like pet, really just craves her attention and approval. And it turns out that the teacher is also a vampire. This is a dark academia read, I think, in its truest form, because a big focus on this is poetry and how these two girls at school are always competing, trying to out-poet perhaps one or the other, and just craving this teacher's approval. So this teacher is also very manipulative. She just kind of dangles her approval because she knows how bad they want it, and takes it away when she feels like she can or something has made her upset. So it's just very manipulative in that capacity, but it's all just so fun. So it's also sapphic, so that has been a fun twist to it as well. So there's just a lot of good elements going into it. The writing style and the prose I really enjoy as well, so I'm just really hooked and just enjoying this book so much. The audiobook is definitely good. I am listening to it on 1.2 times speed because Laura is from Mississippi, so she has that southern twang, and personally that's not my favorite accent. I would say it's not my favorite, so when you speed it up to 1.2 times speed, you don't hear it as much. It's just like, it's a little bit softer, and that's how I prefer it. And this book is flying by. I cannot believe it. I'm having a really good time with this. There are definitely a lot of trigger warnings which are included at the beginning of this book, so be sure to read those before you decide to pick this up. But I'm glad that I am enjoying this because I have a Very Loot special edition of this book coming in sometime way in the future, but I am looking forward to that nonetheless. But like, it is so stunning and I love this writing, and the story is so just intriguing and just really captures you and makes you want to keep going. Even though it kind of just seems like we're really here for like the dark academia vibes, like the plot is pretty loose. Like, I don't think we're going towards anything right now. We're just following these characters as they are in school, and that's it, and getting brought into this teacher's like vampire world. So it's all very intriguing. I'm enjoying it a ton and can't wait to hopefully listen to more soon. And with that, let's get to submitting this grad school assignment so that I can be done with it and hopefully get to a little bit more of As Good as Dead. I would like to say that I have been updating you all when I am submitting my assignments, and you get 3 attempts to resubmit. And so I have met, like on my first attempt, met all of my expectations, but I'll have you all know I do go back and then I fix them so that I can exceed expectations. So fingers crossed, maybe we'll still get an A, but if we just pass, that's fine too. I don't care as much as I once did. I just want to get past the finish line. So let's hop to that and then check back in later. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is a little bit dreary outside, but that's okay because we convinced ourselves to get up this morning and actually get a workout in. So I'm very proud of myself there. I've been in a little bit of a workout slump lately, so anything is a win for me at this point. So I'm very happy that I got to do that. I do feel much better. My existential dread is a little bit more gone today, which is great because yesterday it was just a whole different level. So yeah, we got a nice workout in and we submitted project 3 last night for grad school. So all of that good stuff is taken care of. So that means tonight we can just focus on reading. And I'm not gonna go get the book right now because I don't feel like it, but we got up to page 120 of As Good as Dead, and I am just feeling just so uneasy about this book. Like, I feel like the suspense element is definitely in this one more so than the others because of the circumstances. Like, in the other ones, Pip is trying to figure out what's going on with this other person, but now all the threats against Pip are coming a little bit too close to home. So we have just developed all of these feelings for this main character, and now she's just being, just her safety isn't necessarily guaranteed in this one, and I am just really hopeful that Miss Holly Jackson gives her a happy ending because she's gone through so much, really. She has just had a lot go on. She's helped a lot of people in the process, and I just really hope that she gets the ending that she deserves. So fingers crossed. 120 is about, I think, 25% of the way through. So I'm hoping to knock out, at least get to page 200 tonight so that we can really start making some progress here. Because we also have book club tomorrow night, and I am anticipating that we are then going to start Daisy Hates the Great Undoing, so I want to make sure that I am wrapping this series up so that I can jump into that book. But very excited nonetheless. Like you all have seen, I have just been loving my series so far, but I'm really excited to kind of put one to rest so that I can open another one up at this point. And again, I stand by that I am not going to read it's like a 3.5 book series is the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I'll read duologies, I think, at the same time. Like, I won't take a breather in between them because they're just a little bit shorter. You're not in the world for nearly as long, so maybe I won't catch as many feelings or start to take on the main character's feelings and thoughts and just circumstances. So I stand by that though. We're gonna do better about that one next time. But anyway, that is all of my updates there. Very excited to get back from work tonight and just chill out. I'm also excited. I hope that something happens because my husband has been getting into reading, which is just the best thing ever, makes him even more attractive in my eyes. And so I placed a hold for one of the books that he wants to pick up. He's really been into David Graham's book, who wrote The Wager, and Killers of the Flower Moon, I believe. So he's going through his backlist right now. And so I might have a hold to pick up from the library, which would be a really nice thing to do after work. So we'll see if we get to go take a little library trip, and I will see you all after work. Scooty's all tuckered out from his day at daycare yesterday. Boop, boop, boop. Hey there everyone, it is Friday afternoon now, which means I have done an absolutely horrible job of vlogging these past couple of days, but we are turning this train around now and getting back on track and going to do better this weekend. So, a few updates so far, but let's start with the reading updates. So first, I have not made much progress in this since I think the last time I updated you all. I'm on page 182 and we are still in a very similar spot in this book. Nothing has progressed too far, so I won't really be talking about this too much, but I'm really hoping to be sitting down and starting to read this a bit more this weekend. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow and be very nasty, so perfect reading weather. On the other hand, I have made substantial progress in the audiobook for An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. I think I only have less than 100 pages left. So, I mean, I'm really close on this one, which I don't know. I feel like these books just fly by for me, and that is definitely because the font in these books is much larger, I think, than most books, which I'm not complaining about. My little eyes, they love it. I also love how fast it goes, and I feel like we still get a good plot and fun characters, so we're not really missing anything. It just happens to go by a little bit faster. But we have had some steamy scenes in here, and we have this underlying kind of foreboding going on as well. But this book is just so atmospheric, and the writing is extremely lush, and I love this author's writing. I don't think it's as good as A Dowry of Blood for me, but still a really, really good book. And I think we're about to have everything escalate quite a bit, so I am really looking forward to seeing what comes next here. So those are my two reading updates, but I also went to the library and I got a book for myself, so let me tell you what I got. So first, from the library, I picked up a copy of Murder Road by Simone St. James. This is a new release by this author, and I listened to the audiobook for the Book of Cold Cases last year and absolutely loved it. So I am really excited to read this one. I think it's going to be a little bit scary, very spooky, and there's a supernatural element typically in her books, which I think we're going to get in here as well, but I am super excited. This author, I've only read one of her books, but I really enjoyed my time with it, so I can't wait to get into this one. And then the book that I bought for myself was A Familiar Betrayal by E.M. Rinaldi. I have the first book from the author, but I want to read both of these this month, and so I wanted to go ahead and just pick them up, and they look really good together on the shelf, so I am assuming that I'm going to really enjoy my time with these and would want a copy. So I am very excited to get into this duology, and this one's pretty short. It's, I think, about 300 pages, so I think we should be able to fly through them. And those are all of the updates there. I have a couple of things though, because today I went to the dentist, and I hate the dentist. The feeling of scraping on your teeth, it really just freaks me out. I hate it. But I've been having pretty bad jaw pain for a little bit now, like a little over a week, and they said it could be a little bit of TMJ, and so I need to take Advil, I believe, and ice my face. And I was just really sad because honestly I was kind of hoping that it was going to be something else that they could fix very easily. That was not the case, so I have to actually just be conscious of my mouth clenching because I'm not a grinder, I'm just a clencher. And yeah, the dentist like had his fingers up to my face and was like open and shut, and he's like, oh yeah, that was a little bit creaky, not the smoothest operations there. And I was like, excuse you. But yeah, so that was unfortunate. So right beside my dentist is a Target. So I just went in there to get my Advil and to get a ice pack. And then I also was like, it's International Women's Day and you survived the dentist, so go check out the book section. And I went to the book section and one book really stood out to me. It's called Remedial Magic, and it looked just so cozy, like peak coziness. It was sapphic, it was witchy, it was going to be so fun. But in that Target, my Goodreads wouldn't load because I always check the Goodreads reviews before I buy a book, but it wouldn't load. So I bought the book and I got home and it's like a 2.5-star rating because it's marketed. And I mean, I definitely got this from the description on the back of the cover as a cozy book, but it is not that. It is much more intense than that. And so I was really sad to see that because I bought it thinking that I was going to be a cozy book, and honestly I'll probably just return it. I probably won't even try to read it because I wasn't in the mood for some crazy plot line. I just wanted the bookstore person and then the old witch who's trying to save her dying land. Like, that's all I wanted. Nothing crazy. But that was unfortunate, so I'm gonna have to go back to Target and we'll see if I pick myself out another book in that process. But I'm very excited for tonight because we are just going to sit down and catch up on Love is Blind. I can't wait. I'm so excited about it. I've managed to avoid most spoilers, so I can't wait to see what happens and just kind of hang out with Jill and Scoot and have a chill night in. So very much looking forward to it. And then tomorrow we'll have a lot of other things to do, but all very chill because again, it's going to be rainy and I am just not in the mood to go out in the rain. So we have about 30 minutes before Dill gets off work, so I'm going to go fold laundry and continue listening to my audiobook. Maybe even finish it. We'll see. I think I only have like an hour and 15 minutes left of it at this point, so very feasible given that I speed up the playback speed. But let's go do these things so we can get ready for tonight. Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday morning now and it is so gloomy and rainy. I'm just so excited to have such a relaxing and peaceful Saturday, just entire day, truly. I'm very much looking forward to it until I realized that I actually have a ton of computer work to do. I would love to just be comfy and just sit on the couch and finish As Good as Dead because, oh my gosh, I got to part 2 last night. And first off, this got so dark. Like, I genuinely was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is YA right now because it was so intense and I was just so nervous. My anxiety was through the roof. I think I was at 110 beats per minute for my heart rate for, God, at least an hour last night. I was so stressed out. And so now I just want to sit down and finish reading this book because something has happened and we are just progressing further into this morally gray territory. And I am so nervous about it because I want Pip to have this happy ending. I want her to overcome everything she's dealing with, but I am really not sure how we are going to get there. So I also love the direction of this book so far. It is so different from where we started in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I think that it has progressed so well. Like, yeah, it is just very insane. I am just eating it up. And I don't know, I feel like some people might not like that aspect of it and how much it's evolved, but I feel like given everything that Pip has been through, like these conclusions and where we're at now are not that far-fetched. Truly, they're not. And I feel like any normal person could come to the same conclusions. And I don't know what that says about me because she's making these logical reasonings, and to me they're logical. But I'm like, oh, should I be agreeing with that? So I don't know, but it's really appealing to me and I am just enjoying myself so much with Pip. So fingers crossed we get to a good place with her so she can have her happy ending, but I am losing hope by the chapter. So I'm on page 265 now. There are 450 pages. I'm hoping to get at least 100 more pages knocked out today, and if I'm lucky, really just sit down and kind of breeze through it because again, it's just such a good time. And I feel like now, in order for my heart rate to come all the way back down to where it needs to be, I need to just finish it. So that's as good as dead. Yeah, I was sitting here last night and just reading it, and like my heart was beating out of my chest. I'm like kind of covering my eyes. I'm the kind of person who I have to skip forward a couple of chapters to just be like, okay, like everything's gonna be okay in a minute. Just get through this part. And I know, like, whatever, that makes me a spoiler, but you gotta take care of yourself too when you're reading. So it's about 8:30 now, and I am going to go, one, edit the last weekly vlog and finish that up so it can go up tomorrow. Two, I need to, let me tell you all, because this is just so funny. So project 3, there are 4 projects in my grad school class. And so for project 3, I submitted it on Tuesday night, and I got feedback returned to me, and basically the professor didn't even put a grade on it. He didn't even count it as a submission because we get 3 submissions. And he was like, Brooke, I'm not sure completely what you did in this project. I just need to see it a little bit better. I'm returning it to you with these guidelines. And I was like, wow, I must have really done the bare minimum on Tuesday. Like, you can just tell that I am checking out, which I don't encourage, but I do need to fix that so I can get a grade on it and move on to my 4th project so we can wrap this semester up. And then I also need to do taxes at some point. I'm not sure when that's going to be, but I'm really hopeful. It's only 8:30. The whole day is ahead of us. We got a whole day tomorrow, and yeah, I'm just really excited about it. So, oh, one more thing. So in a couple of weeks, Dylan and I are going to a getaway house, and I am so excited about it because they are so cute, and I just really, really love them. So I'm really excited to go and do some hiking, and then there's just like cute towns around it, and we're taking Scooter. So I'm just so excited for him to be there with us. But I finally, after we took a trip to Denver last year and we did hiking there, it was like my hiking shoes were my Brooks that were like 5 years old, and I just threw them away after that trip because they were just so done. There were holes in them, so I just haven't had hiking shoes for a minute because we haven't really done a ton of it. But I realized we were going to be doing some hiking on this trip, so I went and checked out and got some hiking boots, and I went to Amazon and I found them used, the specific ones that I wanted used but like new, for $45. So I was like, that's a steal, first off. So let me show you. Came in the original Columbia packaging and everything. And just like these rugged, just really nice hiking shoes. And I was really glad because I don't do hiking that much, so I didn't want to pay a ton of money for them, but I like for my stuff to look nice. So I really like these Columbia ones, and I'm very excited to wear them in a couple of weeks. And that's that. So let's go get started on all of the computer work, so hopefully we can wrap that up and get back to reading. Mini update because I just got done editing for the video that's supposed to go up tomorrow, and my grad school assignment has been resubmitted. Hopefully you can tell what I did in this project better now, but I just wanted to say, like, that was awesome. I'm really glad that I forced myself to do it because I didn't want to. I'm staring at my walking pad in my book and I wanted to do that so bad, but now both of my big things, taxes might have to be tomorrow. Both my big things are done for right now, so I am so excited and hopefully going to just be able to read for the rest of the afternoon, so yay me. Happy Sunday. It has been such a nice day today. You can probably see that the light is actually coming in a tad bit more because luckily the sun decided to come out today. I wasn't too mad yesterday when it was raining, but it is what it is. So it's nice and sunny out, but either way, I have just been kind of marinating today. I have been taking it very slow, very chill, and I have loved every second of it. So with that, let's talk about the reading that I have done because I have finished both of my books. First, last night I finished As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, and I gave it 4 stars at the time when I finished it, but I went back and just gave it 5 stars because I cannot believe where this series went. Like, I just can't wrap my mind around it. I love that it did it because I feel like it really could have gone in the way that I would expect it to go is like a typical YA. Everything's a little bit more happy-go-lucky, but I really like the dark turn that this book took. And I think that it's just so, I mean, not super realistic, but also not that far from it because what Pip has seen over the course of this book, I just feel like is really solidified in this one, and I love it. Like, I just really, really enjoyed that aspect to it. I will tell you what, it felt like I ran a marathon because my heart rate was like above 115 beats per minute for at least a couple of hours while I was reading this because I was so stressed out. Like, I could not calm down. I just wanted to help Pip in this journey because it was super intense. It was really, really intense. And oh my gosh, and the ending was absolutely heartbreaking, just gut-wrenching. I was staring at the wall. I'm so glad that Miss Jackson decided to give us the one little page about the 1 year and 7 months later or whatever. But I needed more. I needed an epilogue. I am requesting a sequel novella because I want to see these characters happy. Ideally, that's where I would like for this to go, and I just need to know that they're okay now, that they made it through it. And I just didn't get that. I got a little bit of closure. I want much more closure. I just feel so connected to these characters, and just this was such a journey, and I just can't get over it. So I'm so glad that I picked this series up. I really enjoyed my time with it way more than what I thought I would have, but really truly just had such a good time with it. And yeah, no, I need that sequel novella yesterday, so would love it if she got on that. But if you're looking for a new YA mystery thriller series, I definitely recommend this one. I would highly recommend checking the trigger warnings because even though it's YA, it does cover some heavy topics and you just want to read safely. So I still, like, again, this book was 5 stars. I think that I'm going to give this like a 5-star series all around because thinking about the progression of it, I just can't get over how well it was done. So really loved it, and actually very sad that my time with it is coming to a close. And then I also finished An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. This was the audiobook I had been listening to throughout this week, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I had a good time with it, but overall, this book was just more so vibey. Like, the plot was kind of there, but truly we were just in it for the academic setting, what was going on with the vampires, how it was slightly evolving, but really it was more character-based, I would say. I think that's something S.T. Gibson does really well over these 2 books. Well, they're not a series, they're both standalone books, but you can tell that she does really well in understanding obsession and control and jealousy, and I just think that it is so well done. And so I really enjoyed this book. I like the vampire element, definitely the academic setting and the focus on poetry, and again, just the relationship aspects of it. It was pretty steamy. It was pretty steamy. It's a sapphic romance, so I really enjoyed that. Laura and Carmilla went from academic rivals to a little bit more, and watching that progression and kind of the like you say hate, but really just the passion grow between them, I thought was really endearing. And watching the third party, the professor who plays a very central role in all of this, understand her ways and what that does to the people around her. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good time. I think that the audiobook was great because it just flew through the story. And I would highly recommend it. I would recommend, and I love that this author does this because it is a pretty triggering book. She always has the content warnings at the beginning of her books, so you can go into any bookstore and pick it up and look at the content warnings to make sure you're okay with them. And I love that. So 4 stars, not as good for me as A Dowry of Blood was, but that's okay. I'm really excited because I have her next new release on my NetGalley right now, so I can't wait to see what she does in that storyline as well. But overall, I really enjoy this one. I actually ordered a special edition copy of it, so I'll probably sell this one, but I had a really good time with it. So now actually I think to close out this vlog, we are going to read one more book, and that is going to be Heartstopper Volume 4. We are going to get back into Nick and Charlie and see what's going on in their world. And I feel like after 2, pretty dark reads, I think that I'm definitely going to find some type of solace and contentness within this romance story. So I'm excited. It should just be like a quick read, but I think that's where this is going to be the last book of the vlog. So let's get into this and go from there. Hey there everyone, I'm just here to close the vlog off, so let's talk about what I ended up reading last week and my quick fire thoughts on them. So first, I completed my A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and I finished As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, and I gave it 5 stars. I am stating that this is a 5-star series. I love this so much and the direction that the series took. I thought that it was not too far off, honestly, in the terms of what was going on with Pip, and I just loved it. I really had such a good time with it. I was so connected. I felt like my heart was beating out of my chest. There was so many times where I just wanted to like scoop our characters up and bring them out of the situations they were in, and I loved it. I am really hopeful that Miss Jackson has a sequel novella up her sleeve, just waiting for the right moment to release it, because I want more of an epilogue. I need a little bit more from these characters, and I will just be so happy if that comes to fruition. Next, I finished the audiobook for An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson, and I gave it 4 stars. Honestly, I've been trying to think about how to talk about this book, and really it is just vibes. It is a sapphic dark academia read with vampires, and we are just really focused on poetry and this college that they're all at, but more importantly, the immortal aspect of the vampires. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a ton of fun, but I did not really get too much of a plot, so just know that going in. But also I really enjoy the way that S.T. Gibson does obsession and control. I feel like she just does it so well, and this book was no exception. So I love this. I think that I'm going to love everything that she puts out, and can't wait to read Evocation by her because I have it on my NetGalley shelf and I just couldn't be more excited for it. And then the book that I didn't get to talk to you all about much because I finished it and really almost started crying during it. It was 5 stars, but I really enjoy how Alice Oseman is bringing Nick and Charlie along in their teenage years, because teenagers just go through so much, and I feel like she conveys it so well, especially the mental health representation in here and what individuals feel like they can do to support somebody else who's going through it. And I just love it. I feel like the conversations in here were intense, but also handled with such care and respect and love, and I have just loved watching Nick and Charlie grow up together. It is the sweetest thing, and I just really love the way that this book happened. It just made me love them even more, and I feel like after every single installment of this series I say that, and it's just so true. I just can't stop loving them more. And those are the books that I ended up finishing this week. I had such a good reading week and I love them so much, but I can't wait to get into next week. So I hope that this was fun for you all, and I will see you in the next vlog. Bye!